Just a friendly reminder. Tomorrow your Barron's book is due. It's worth 150 points. If you do not bring in your Barron's book, it is a 0 and there is no way to make it up. So if you do not have your Barron's book, it is a 0. These are easy points. You should be, they're not easy. They're not easy. But these are points you cannot live without. So make it work. Here, raise your hand if you are done with your Barron's. Yes, 3. How many of you have a long way to go? Oh, God. Here, I'll take it right here.
I started last year.
I started yesterday, Nico. I had a kid in AP World literally start the first page today in my first period.
Jihao?
Huh?
Jihao yesterday showed me his. He has 1 page done. Wait, AP?
Yeah, AP World.
That kid has 1 page done. And she was dying laughing at me. Like, the medicine like curling on my board.
Do you know what that was? I would just sit there and I'm just.
Thank you, team. Here we go on your whiteboard. Let's go on your whiteboard. Please tell me what is, where does actual transduction occur in your ear? Where does actual transduction occur in your ear? Cool. Write it down.
Having your marker might be a little like.
You're fine. That's not a bad one. Where is it, Jackson? The ciliary membrane. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Where does transduction actually occur in your eye? Good. Kristen. Retina. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of, please tell me what is the 3 smallest bones in your body called? They connect your tympanic membrane to your oval window. Good. What are they, Max? Ossicles, hammer, anvil, and stirrup. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is ganglion, bipolar, and rods and cones. They're called collectively what? It's not language. What is it, Eric? Photoreceptors. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is. Please tell me, what is it called when an outside stimulus is converted into a neural impulse? What do we call it when an outside stimulus is converted into a neural impulse? Good. What is it, Patrick? Transduction. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when I'm driving down the road and everything in front of me is coming slowly, but everything to the side of me is like flying by super fast? I'm going to say over here. What is it? Ella?
Motion parallax.
Motion parallax. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of, what is it called when the mountains look fuzzy far away? Look hazy. Come on. Some of us are getting rocked here. Looking right at you, JR. What is it, David? Ariel. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when my eyes turn in to look at my finger coming close to my nose? All right, JR. Convergence. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when it only requires 2 eyes? Good. Gabriel. Binocular. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name? What is it called when, this is when a ventriloquist is doing it, when you can see it and you have 2 things going on at the same time, you tie them together. What is it? David? Contiguity. On your whiteboard, please tell me. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what category is cocaine in? It's easy to go from dissolved principle to cocaine. Very easy. What is it, Morgan? Stimulant. On your whiteboard, please tell me, heroin falls under what category? No, definitely not a depressant. Definitely not. Christina?
Narcotics.
Narcotic. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what type of brain waves are you emitting right now? Because you are thinking, processing information, and you're not theta. Are you relaxed? You shouldn't be relaxed. Definitely not alpha. Jesus Christ, people. JR! Beta! On your whiteboard, please tell me. On your whiteboard, what stage of sleep do I have dreams? Good. What stage, Alexis? REM. On your whiteboard, please tell me what person believes that dreams are internal wants and needs. That's not what it is, but that's fine. Valentina? Good. On your whiteboard, who believes that dreams are strictly there to help us work through problems? God, am I that predictable? Who is it, Abigail? James, William James. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called after your first beer you get drunk, and then for your 22nd birthday it's going to take 3 beers to get you drunk. What is it, Nico? Tolerance. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when... Oh, my Rusty. He's running, REM. What is it, Patrick? Narcolepsy? No, that would not be good.
I mean,
Just
just think of all the things.
The
you
dogs
could-
would be
You
amazing.
could get out of anything. Just be like, oh,
You don't want your
even
cats
if
to have
even if like
narcolepsy?
you didn't actually fall asleep out of nowhere, just like actually. You could
That
get
would be
out
the
of literally
worst.
anything.
That would be the worst. People who really are suffering from narcolepsy. As a dog, though, I think it would be fine.
Are you like always well rested though?
No.
Wait, you're not well
No,
rested?
I don't think so.
I think
They
you
said,
would night.
they said that it like disturbs sleep.
You fall asleep at night like normally though?
Hi.
Wait,
Not part of my
what happens
content. I
after
don't
you
know.
fall
You
asleep?
can Google it, huh?
What happens after they go to
Yeah,
bed?
sure.
Like, do they just like go deeper?
Randomly
like,
wake
wake
up.
up and then pass out again? Like, like to,
I don't know.
I hate that. It's so annoying.
very funny.
All right, here we go. So today I'm doing a review of learning. Every single person in this room said you were weak on it. So please make sure I would take out a piece of paper. I'm going to go through it, and then I'll do boards for it. I'm going to do some, do boards, do some, do boards. So please make sure you are following along. Obviously, I'm just looking at your textbook. It'll help make sure I cover everything I have to cover. So we're first. Are you done? Cool. Thanks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to cover is going to be classical conditioning, and of course it's done by Pavlov. This is the dog experiment. So in the unconditioned stimulus is something that no one taught you to want to eat. So for instance, in this experiment, of course, if I had a pepperoni pizza in the front that was hot and fresh from Joe's New York, what is it? It's not Joe's New York. Eddie and Sam's.
So good.
Okay, sitting in the front, and it was just wafting toward you. Would I have to teach you to want to eat pizza? No, that was an unconditioned stimulus. No one was like teaching you how to want pizza. Unconditioned response is you drooling and not being able to focus on what I'm saying because all you're thinking about is how delicious that Hawaiian pizza would be. I love Hawaiian pizza.
Pineapple belongs on pizza.
I love Hawaiian pizza.
No, pineapple.
Thank you, Gabriel. So, when we have a conditioned stimulus means that I have taught you to want it. Someone has taught you to want it. So, conditioned stimulus in the experiment. So, before conditioning, we had a bell. Before conditioning, we ring the bell. Is the bell going to have any response? It's like if I brought a kazoo tomorrow to class, and I blew the kazoo. How would you respond? You would be like, Venon has officially lost her mind. That's exactly what you would say. It would have no effect on your behavior. But if after conditioning, right, Valentino? After conditioning of the kazoo, every time I reached for the kazoo, I blew the kazoo, I would start screaming at a child, okay, with all my might, okay? That would eventually turn into a conditioned stimulus, correct? Because you knew the moment I blew the kazoo, what was going to happen? I was going to destroy the self-esteem of a high schooler. That is conditioned stimulus. So a neutral stimulus eventually being paired with an unconditioned stimulus will then convert it to a conditioned stimulus. Okay? So every time the dog hears the bell, Okay, we've conditioned the dog to drool to the bell. Before, the dog would drool just to the food. We've now conditioned it to drool to the bell. Okay? So, when we talk about conditions, classical conditioning, we also have a thing called stimulus generalization. Stimulus generalization is when, if I ring the same bell, the dog will respond. If I ring a different bell, the dog will also respond to the different tone of the bell. As long as it's a bell in general, it will respond. Stimulus discrimination is if I ring the original bell, they will drool. If I ring a different bell, the dog will not respond. Do we see the difference between the two? Okay. Spontaneous recovery is after years of not doing this experiment. Sounds good. Thank you. So spontaneous recovery is after I haven't done the experiment, so I quit the experiment 4 years ago, and then I randomly pick up the bell and ring the bell. If the dog drools randomly to the bell, that's spontaneous recovery. If after 4 years of not doing the experiment, and I ring the bell and the dog just stares at me like, what the hell are you doing, crazy woman? That's called extinction. Yes? Now, we also have a thing called higher order conditioning, which pairs two different stages in order to get the conditioning. So, we have a bell and we have finger clapping is the higher order conditioning. If I just ring the bell, the dog won't salivate. If I just snap my fingers, the dog won't salivate. However, if I ring the bell, then snap my fingers, then the dog will salivate. It's a two-step process. All right? Are we good? I have a word bank for you. On your whiteboard, here we go. I have a word bank for the hard stuff. Like this question, it's not up there, but you should know it. Who is the father of classical conditioning? What? Who is it, Max? Pavlov. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called? What is the bell after conditioning? What is the bell after conditioning? Maya? Conditioned stimulus. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the food before conditioning? No. What is it? No, there's no such thing as U.S. That's a country, not a term. What is it, Alexis? Unconditioned stimulus. If you write U.S. on your essay, they won't score it, my darling. And that's the only reason.
In the Barron's book.
If you write UCS, they'll accept it. But U.S., it's not going to score you anything.
Barron's book, they have the US and UCS.
No, you're right. UCS, UCR. Yeah. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when I will not, I learn my conditioning with a cowbell, I will not respond to a desk bell. Good. Come on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Avery. Oh, you copied off someone's board. Cool. What is it, Elijah? Stimulus discrimination. No, I thought you would fill in the first word. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called if I never respond to the conditioning ever again? Good. What is it? Kayla? Extinction. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the drooling before conditioning? Good. What is it, Nico? Unconditioned response. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Nope, we're good. All right, here we go. So, when we talk about classical conditioning, we also have John B. Watson. Who can raise their hand and tell me about John B. Watson's famous experiment? What do you got, David?
The one who, like, made the child scared of or he made a loud noise whenever the kid saw, like, a rat.
Okay.
And then the kid got scared whenever he saw a fuzzy animal.
And what do we call that?
Generalization.
Generalization. So, the original experiment, which I showed you, of course, in class, we saw little Albert having a great day in the petting zoo kind of thing. He got to meet all these different animals, correct? And he was happy and he wasn't scared of them and all that stuff. During the actual conditioning, when Albert reached out for an animal, they clanged the metal pipes together and scared him. After that, They was presented a rat, which is what he was conditioned with, and he was scared of the rat. Then he was scared of the rabbit, scared of the dog, scared of the monkey, and that's called generalization. That is classical conditioning. We learn that fear is conditioned. Okay, that fear is classical conditioning. Conditioned taste aversion. If you tried something once that made you nauseous, you're never going to like it again. Every person in this room is something that made them sick once, you'll never eat. Mine's sour cream.
What?
I'll never eat sour cream. If it touches anything I eat, I would rather starve than eat it. It's disgusting. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, so operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is started by Thorndike. Thorndike's law of effect. It's a very big deal. Make sure you know it. So Thorndike started this whole law of effect. Law of effect is that if something good happened, you're more likely to do it again. Okay? So Thorndike starts it with the law of effect, and B.F. Skinner steps up, and he creates operant conditioning. Stop wasting my ink, Avery. So B.F. Skinner comes up with operant conditioning, and that is taking the information and giving you options. It's a choice. With that reinforcement you get, okay, you can choose. Is it positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement? Now, he also offers primary reinforcement and secondary. Who can give me an example of primary reinforcers, T? Food, sex, water. What are examples of secondary ones? Patrick? Money, clothes, cars, all that stuff is your secondary. So this is where people have a hard time historically. So please make sure you were listening. Positive reinforcement, Gabriel, is that every time you get on my wall, every time you do well on a test, you get on my wall. Positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is if you do poorly on a test, Miss Bennett's going to punch you in the face. So you're going to try to avoid getting punched in the face. So what are you going to do? Do well on the test. You come home for curfew because you don't want to get grounded. Does that make sense? You're not passionate about getting home by midnight. However, you are passionate about not being grounded, and that's why you get home by curfew. What?
Isn't negative reinforcement like when you remove something from like?
You're avoiding something.
So like, wouldn't it be like?
You can do negative reinforcement. That's punishment. Is punishment by application, punishment by removal.
So like if you were gonna hit me if I didn't get a good grade, then I get a good grade to avoid it.
Yes, and that's negative reinforcement. So, with negative reinforcement, then we also have a thing called punishment. Of course, every single person, Max, you better pick that head up right now. Everyone here has been punished before. There's punishment by application, which was always my parents' favorite. Wherever I did something wrong, mostly because I can't keep my mouth shut, I would have to do the lawn. I'd have to take out the trash, do all the laundry. I'd be the Reeves family slave. Punishment by removal is when your parents take your cell phone away from you. Okay, take away your friends, all that stuff, all those kind of components to it. Shaping is when you slowly turn a behavior. That's like training a dog, all of that. Extinction and discrimination, of course, is the same as in classical. Here we go on your whiteboard. You better sit up straight there, darling. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who are the two men behind operant conditioning? Who are the two men behind operant conditioning? You all should know this. I literally said this about 3 minutes ago. Who is it, JR? Thorndike and Skinner. On your whiteboard. Operant conditioning essentially means what? Good. I got one. Abigail, you're right. Stress it. Good. It is what, Abigail? Choices. It's voluntary. You make the choice. On your whiteboard. You do well on your vocab. You bring your Barron's book in so Miss Bennett doesn't berate you in front of the entire class. You bring your Barron's book so Miss Bennett doesn't berate you. So far, I've got one right. 2, 3. Christina, what is it?
Negative reinforcement.
Why?
Because you're avoiding the behavior.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called? I don't know. Please tell me, what is it called when I slowly change the behavior over time? I gave Toby lots and lots of treats in order to teach him how to sit. When I say sit, what is it, Avery? Shaping. On your whiteboard, please tell me if my mother grounded me and made me fold the laundry for the entire house, that's what type of punishment? What is it? Valentina.
Application.
Punishment by application. On your whiteboard. Huh? 9. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is food, sex, water? Good, Nico.
Primary reinforcer.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when I love when my name goes up on the wall, so I work hard so I can get my name on my wall. Good. What is it, T? Positive reinforcement. Here we go. So when we talk about reinforcement in Skinner and operant conditioning, we obviously have reinforcement schedules, which is what you people hate more than anything. So there are something called a continuous reinforcement, which is a 1-to-1 ratio. I would write this down. You guys are horrible at this stuff. 1-to-1 ratio is like if I asked you, every time you read a book, you get a gold star. So if you read 6 books, how many stars do you get, Gabriel? 6. Thank you. So the first one is a fixed interval schedule. If it's a fixed interval schedule, what does that mean? T.
You get one after a certain period of time.
Okay. After so many hits, you get something. It's like a fixed interval is after a fixed amount of time. I get my paycheck every 2 weeks. That's a fixed interval. No matter what, every 2 weeks I get it. Okay? Then you could have a variable interval. Variable means it changes over time. So, if I work a bartending shift, when I go to work, I get cash randomly that night. Okay? That would be variable interval over time. Now, variable interval is varying, and then we have fixed ratio. Fixed ratio is after so many hits, you get it. A perfect example of fixed ratio would be like those smoothie punch cards. After 6 smoothies, you get 1 free. That is a fixed ratio. A variable ratio is who knows after how long you'll get something, like a slot machine at a casino is a variable ratio. Avery. Variable interval. Variable means it changes. Interval after so much time. So it changes, the time changes on it after a certain amount. For variable interval is when I randomly pick up shifts at work, I get paid that night, not in my weekly check. What do you got? Variable ratio is the amount of hits change. So, for instance, one of this would be a slot machine. Like when you go to a casino, yeah? There's a certain number, after so many hits, it's going to hit the jackpot. What? Continuous is 1-to-1 ratio. What do you got, Ella?
So what's the difference between fixed interval and fixed ratio?
Fixed interval is fixed amount of time. So after every minute you got it. Fixed ratio is after every 6 times you hit it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Then you have behavior modification is changing behavior with treats, typically, if you think about it for dogs. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me food, 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 food. Come on, let's go, let's go. No, I have a bunch of wrongs. What is it? Maya.
Continuous ratio.
Why is it continuous, Maya?
Because you're getting it every time.
Yeah, I'm getting food. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. On your whiteboard, what is it? Food. 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 What is it, Valentino?
Variable ratio.
Why is it variable ratio?
Because you don't know when the response is going to happen.
And I'm doing what? It's counting the hits, correct? There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, my paycheck is what? I get paid every 2 weeks. Here we go. Okay. What is it, JR?
Fixed interval.
Fixed interval. On your whiteboard, a slot machine is what? Good. Good. What is it, Max? Variable ratio. On your whiteboard, please tell me. No, here we go. Let me finish this. All right, cognitive learning. First of all, here are all your funky learning styles. So first one, you got Tolman. He's the maze guy, right? The rats. I remember Tolman, like he's running around in like the mazes, like a clock. Tolman? No? Okay. Tick-tock, hickety-dickety-dock, or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called. I'm not. Anyway, hickory-dickory-dock. Sorry, whatever it is. So what the rats do is he puts them in there, and eventually they find their way out of the maze without any reinforcement. However, after he does that about 20 times, he then introduces reinforcement, and the rats do it much faster. Did they learn the maze without the reinforcement? Yes. However, they do it better with reinforcement. So that you can learn without reinforcement. That is latent learning. Kohler, smart chimp, of course. This is the insight learning. You need to know Kohler. You need to know Tolman and what type of learning they do. Kohler's behind the smart chimp. It's that insight learning. Remember the video I showed you where there's a peanut at the bottom of a cylinder? So what they do is they spit water in it to get the peanut to float. In the book, they talk about how the monkey takes two sticks together, puts them together, and reaches through. Get it? All that's insight. Then you have Seligman's suppressed dogs. Can anyone explain that experiment to me? Elijah.
So the first day, there's like an electric shock on 30% of the floor is like cage. So the dog runs around and learns it, it's the shock on the foot. And then he like reduces the amount of the floor of the cage gets shocked every time. But eventually the dog like just it's gonna get shocked every time, so it just gives up.
There you go. So it goes from 100 to 90 to 80. The dog freaks out for the first couple times, and then he just quits on it. That's learned helplessness. Okay? That no matter what I do, I'm not going to beat it, so I might as well just lay here, even though by the end he could have just easily moved and could have avoided it. Learned helplessness. Then you have observational learning, which is Bandura. Who can tell me about Bandura's famous experiment? What we got, Maya?
So he set a room up with kids and had adults watch them.
Whoa.
Oh, no, so,
Let's flip it around.
yeah, the kids watch adults beat this doll, and so the kids did it as well, even more violent as well.
There you go. So it is all about observational learning. The kids are watching a video of a woman beat up the children are watching the adults beat up a Bobo doll. When given the opportunity, the kids do the same thing and add more violence, just like Maya said. That is the Bobo doll experiment. So monkey see, monkey do, and then we have the 4 elements. Okay? What up?
Wasn't that called something because they came up with new ways to do it? Wasn't that called something?
No, there's no specific term for it. Oh, you mean learning performance distinction?
No, whenever they did it in like different ways.
I mean, they took they took the gun, remember?
Yeah.
Hammer.
They did a hammer and all that stuff. I don't know. Not that I need to even know. All right, here we go on your whiteboard. Who does the insight? Who does insight learning? Good. I got 1, 2, 3. Come on. Who is it, Ella?
Kohler.
Kohler. On your whiteboard, please tell me who is behind latent learning. Good. Gabriel. Coleman. On your whiteboard, please tell me who's behind Bobo dolls. Good. Who is it? Kristen. Bandura. On your whiteboard, please tell me which type of learning is based on observational. What experiment is based on observational learning? Now, what is it? T. Bobo dolls. Which one is based on seeing that learning can occur without reinforcement? Good. What is it, Elijah? Rat maze. Which one is based on aha moments? That sometimes we just get it. Good. What is it, David? Smart chimp. How much time do I have?
9 minutes.
Dang, Elijah.
What is the name of the gentleman behind Learned Helplessness? I didn't say his name today, but someone do know it. Who is it? Patrick Silgman. He's the dude behind Learned Helplessness. Your depressed dogs. All right. I can continue asking you questions and review for your test, or would you like time to work on your bearings? You have 9 minutes.
8 minutes. Game.
So hateful today. All right, work on your Barron's book. You are not allowed to be on your phone unless you are completely done. What? Yes, hurry up.